Welcome to the Kale Houser Leadership Secrets podcast. Today we're going to ask, are you a dreamer or an executor? Hello and welcome back to the Kale Houser Leadership Secrets podcast. Thank you for joining me today. Hey, I wanted to take a little bit of a twist, a different take on the kind of classic left brain versus right brain personalities and what that means to be one of those two things. And in our concept, or in my concept that I want to talk about, is the dreamer or the executor, the visionary or the planner. Like there's typically your one side of that coin or the other, and you have your absolute strengths that play into that personality, that persona, and then you also have some drawbacks and some weaknesses that aren't as developed or as prioritized if you are one or the other of these. And I wanted to bring to your attention, if you did not know this already, is that one, rarely is one person both of those. Rarely can you be the visionary as well as the day-to-day ops type of person. Rarely can you be the dreamer who's the idea guy, the idea gal, the one that, is constantly coming up with new products to launch and new ways to launch it and getting things out to market and ways to market, as well as the one that is actually placing the orders with the manufacturer for, it's a physical product, and doing the no kidding architectural drafting design work, or figuring out the specs on that particular item, or the actual email sequence and the flow of how you want to follow up with your customers and all those types of detail oriented things. And rarely is one person that combined. Now, they may, out of necessity, temporarily do that, but typically the thing that is not within their, just kind of natural tendency causes such pain that it, at its worst, causes an utter shutdown and a quitting on the thing, because they just so do not like writing copy for their emails or their advertisings. They just want to sit there and come up with ideas and be creative and connect with people. But because they, maybe can't afford to hire a copywriter or a marketing agency, they feel that is such an insurmountable obstacle that they just end up shutting down because it's not worth the pain. The pleasure is not worth the pain. But it's kind of, you think about this concept of these two personalities. And again, to help you realize, if you don't already, you need both on your team. If you are the business leader, you are the one that, maybe started this business for whatever reason, and you have not figured out yet that you are the visionary. You had the vision to open this shop, to start this coaching program, to provide this service to your community, but maybe you're not as good at doing the hiring. Maybe you're not really good at, putting your face out there to your community to get that business, to make yourselves known. Maybe you're not good at creating schedules or sticking to tasks, all those types of things. And you're still trying to do them, but I'm here to encourage you, do that analysis. Like, these are the 5 tasks that I absolutely love doing. If you haven't done this already, these are the 5 tasks that really bring me joy and I get fulfillment from, and see what tilt that puts you at. Does it put you more towards the dreamer, visionary type of a tilt and mentality? Or does it put you more towards the executor, operations type of mentality? And whichever you fall on, go find the opposite of, to help you, to complement you. Come to an agreement, whether that, is your business partner, a spouse, a random stranger that you end up hiring. Find the opposite of you, not the opposite in goals, in desires, in drive, but the opposite of what fulfills them and what they're good at, in the form to complement you to make an amazing business that's firing on all cylinders, because you're picking up the slack of each other. And you can kind of see this, if you go through this mental exercise of, take engineers. I went to an engineering, I have my engineering degree in mechanical engineering. I went to University of Hawaii at Manoa, to their College of Engineering, admittedly not the most top-notch engineering school in the country, but it was accredited, like I tell everybody. And while I was there, and certainly what drew me to engineering, while I was there were a lot of people just like me. They thought like me. They had similar outlooks on life like me, as far as their brain and how it worked. We were more on the executor side of the house, the operations, the math. Those are the things that really got us going, and it was enjoyable for us. And I think I've shared this story before. I had to take a intro to world music class, right? Because everyone has to be so well-rounded when they graduate with their bachelor's degree. And I remember this specifically. I can still feel it and taste it and hear it as I walked down to the music department section of our campus in Hawaii. And there's people like sitting playing their ukuleles and flutes and guitars, and like legitimately a gal playing a harp just out on this bench down in their section of the campus. And I'm going, what the heck is going on here? Because it was such, these are obviously the visionaries, the creators that are drawn to that college within our university, the music college, and whatever careers musicians pursue and degrees they get. But if you have a group of all engineers, it's going to lead to failure, because your thing will never get to market. You will sit there and they'll design and they'll troubleshoot and they'll design and then they'll troubleshoot and then they'll do more analysis and they'll do tech specs and write-ups, but they'll never actually talk to somebody and put it out to market and actually sell the item or advertise for it. They'll never get that done because they don't have the vision and the drive in order to make something great, let alone the people skills to do so, generally speaking. And on the flip side, if you've got a group of all marketers that really just love creating ads and writing design copies and what's the perfect color for this button over here in order to get people to be drawn to buy your product, you're going to have failure because their product will never get developed. Or if it does, it will be so half-hearted and just a bad product. Again, if this is a form of a technical thing or a physical product, they'll never get the orders placed and the supply chain put in place and all those types of things that need to happen to have a successful business. But now if you get a couple engineers and a couple marketers together, and they have that feedback and open and honest and trust in each other to do your roles, then man, great things can happen. Amazing things can happen in your business. And I will tell you, if you are lacking either side of that coin because you're one and either you're scared or distrustful of the other, one, you haven't found the right person. You need, certainly you need to have that kind of basic of a relationship to where you're like, hey, this is what I'm good at, what I'm strong at. This is what I'm not so good at. You're really good at that thing, and we can complement each other because we both want to achieve this goal. We want to become the number one HVAC repair installation in our entire community in the tri-state area, right? And we have that goal. You're going to help advertise and get our name out there and build our brand. Well, I'm going to find the right technicians and find the most awesome products that we can deliver to our customers and create this amazing schedule to where people know when we're going to be there, right? There's all these pieces that move together that by having two or multiples in your larger team of these types of people, you just become this powerhouse of a brand and movement and company that is unstoppable, as long as you can keep the relationship side of it in place. So yeah, that is something. And by being, while on the surface it may seem like, oh, you're just going to eliminate all these arguments if you just have all of the same type of people, which to a degree that might be the case. There will be less conflict, but ultimately there'll be more because you're all trying to do the same thing. Does that make sense? It's the classic, there's too many Indians and not enough chiefs, or too many chiefs and not enough Indians. Scratch that, opposite. That old saying of you're all trying to do the same thing, and then kind of the other things get ignored and never done, and you have half a product or no product at all because you have half a product. Does that make sense? So, are you right brain, left brain? Are you a dreamer, visionary, or are you the executor, operations, task-oriented type of a person? And who do you have on your team? Who is on your team? And that could be your supervisor above you. That could be, a subordinate below you that you supervise. That could be people that are, in your business that you've put together. Who fills those different roles for you in your business? And are they clear on those roles, right? So I don't want to get into a discussion about, role responsibility and delineation of tasks and things like that. But, do they understand that, yes, those are those roles, and that's why they're here, is because they complement these other, weak areas that you bring to the table or don't bring to the table, as the case may be. That makes sense? I hope it does. I hope that's beneficial for you to kind of get your juices flowing a little bit and figuring out how you can go find that person to complement you in order to just really shoot to the moon with your business. That'd be phenomenal. Let me know. Let me know what you are. Because it would be fascinating for me I kind of think I have a guess of who mostly listens to my podcast, besides my mom and my dad, saying thank you, Mom and Dad. What type of person and personality generally consumes this type of content? I have my guess, but it would be interesting to hear in the comments of what that is. Are you more the dreamer side of the house or the executor side of the house? All right, everybody, have a fantastic afternoon no matter where you're at in the world. Bye.